Hey folks, hope you're all doing well. So I just wanted to do a bit of I suppose, a recap on my run the Rotterdam Marathon last weekend. So I was very, very lucky to run a 2:30 marathon in Rotterdam, um, which I was delighted with. Very, very hard race, very, very hard run, but very, very happy with that. And I just want to talk a wee bit about, I suppose, about the build up to it and then the run at the weekend. I think a lot of people will know in the lead up to Belfast, I did quite a lot of blogs, videos, and essentially just putting out there the good and the bad with regards to training, how everything went, what went well, what went wrong. And I suppose a couple of weeks before Belfast, I a lot of different injuries I had basically just all caught up on me. And with about a week and a half to go, I had to pull the plug because I wouldn't have got to the start line, never mind the finish line. And because I'd put myself out there for that, I got quite embarrassed and just felt a wee bit burnt by it. That I had said that this was my big goal. I was doing a weekly blog, weekly videos on how everything was going, and then I didn't even make the start line. And I suppose it felt like a bit of a fraud, really. And so for Rotterdam this time, you'll have noticed I didn't really do any of that, and that was kind of a conscious effort because not that I didn't. I have no issue with sharing my training and how things are going. But I didn't know 100% if I was going to make the start line. I didn't know if Rotterdam would come around too quickly. And I just wanted to concentrate on the training and not worry about everything else. So concentrate on me running the best I could do without putting that extra bit of pressure on myself. And I feel as though it did help, to be honest with you. I'll be honest, my training volume was quite low for this because I built back up from various different injuries, but an injury that's been, I suppose, the last year or so just been at me over and over again is a tibialis posterior tendon injury. And like it did give me issues during this build up, but I suppose through working with Dara Clifford, Annie Dell, Kieran, they've been able to manage it really, really well, and are doing the necessary at not allowing me to miss any training. And I had 1 week where I missed, I think I only got 20 or 30 kilometers in for that week, and I missed a long run. But other than that, more or less hit everything that I needed to do. So, very good midweek session, and a very solid long run at the weekend was the staple of my kind of marathon build up. The long runs at the start I found very tough, and I was struggling to hit 4 minute kilometer pace, never mind 3:35, which is what I averaged for Rotterdam. So, but with about 5 6 weeks to go to Rotterdam, I felt as though I was turning a corner, and things just started to go a wee bit better than they had been going. I felt a lot more comfortable, and that's, I suppose, that's just training. Once you get consistent training again and again and again, that allows you to run better and better and better. So I did Bohermeen half marathon 4 weeks out, and I was very nervous leading up to that because I hadn't a clue what I was going to run. That was first race in over 18 months, so I hadn't a clue what I was going to run. And I was pleasantly surprised with a 71:46, I think it was, in the end. Um, and I probably could have ran faster that day if I'd believed in myself a wee bit. But no, it was a very, very positive run. And I actually got over it fairly well as well. It didn't take too much out of me with regards to training then that week. And then I suppose 2 good long runs, 3 weeks and 2 weeks out, gave me kind of confidence that I could get close to running to 3:30 kilometer pace in Rotterdam. And taper went well, like everyone. I had a lot of taper tantrums. I imagined I was sick. I imagined I was injured. Everything and anything that could go wrong in my head was going to go wrong. And I don't know, I just find the taper period very, very tough. But yeah, very, very, very happy with the taper. Got to Rotterdam. We were staying in Airbnb. It was outside Rotterdam. It was Rotterdam Nord, but it wasn't too far away from city centre. It was kind of ideal because you're kind of away from the madness, and you kind of are in your own kind of environment, and you can cook and everything like that. So that was really, really good. Got very little sleep the night before the marathon, but kind of expected that to be the case. But woke up feeling good, feeling ready to go on Sunday morning. And yeah, well, the race itself, like it was kind of uneventful enough for the first half, to be totally honest. It was quite crowded at the start, very very narrow start, quite crowded, and I was kind of, the first few kilometers were actually a wee bit off what I wanted to run, but I wasn't too concerned with that. Then I got into a good rhythm, and I was kind of hitting off just under 3:30 for a lot of it, which I was kind of surprised with it because I thought it'd be closer to 3:35 pace, but felt good. Having said that, when I got to 10k at just over 35 minutes, I did think to myself, that's probably a wee bit harder, or felt a wee bit harder than it probably should. But what do you do if you slow down massively, or you make a conscious effort to slow down? You're probably going to slow down more than you should or than you need. So it's just like, let's go with this, and got to halfway in just over 114, and then I started to think, wow, okay, this is 2:28 pace, could be on for a massive day here. Um, and then felt really good. We go over the bridge, which was a slight incline at about 27, 28k. And actually, my girlfriend was there with water, because the water situation I thought was not great in Rotterdam, because it was just cups essentially. And I don't know if anyone's practiced taking on water with cups, and you feel as though you're getting very, very little, and then you're breathing very, very heavy after it. So Molly had water for me to grab, and I took that from her. But I at that moment, like just shortly after, I was like, hamstring is starting to cramp a wee bit already, and I like, I've had cramping issues in the past, but not that early of a stage, and I did worry a wee bit, but I was like, let's go with it. And I got to like 30k, still feeling good, and about 32k, you're kind of entering a park in Rotterdam. Anyone that's run Rotterdam will know this, but you enter a park, and you're in there for about 7k, and that's when I was like, right, this is tough, and I felt as though my hamstring was going to go at certain points, and I was finding it tough anyway, but I was just like, right, let's just be happy with 3:35 to 3:40 pace. And I was for a bit, but then I just started to find it very, very, very tough. And I was working. I seemed to get a lot of shouts, like, oh no, my name was in the bib anyway. But I seemed to get a lot louder shouts than a lot of people, and I think that was because I was an absolute look. My face, I'd say, was an absolute agony. One, because of the cramping issue, and two, because I was just finding it incredibly tough. It got quite warm, not like massively warm, but got quite warm as well. But like, it got really tough, and a lot of people around me find it tough as well. A lot of people dropping out, a lot of people just slowing their pace quite a lot. And that's the marathon. Like, the goal at that stage is, like, my goal at that stage wasn't to go, right, are we going to run 2:29? Are we going to run 2:30? Are we going to run 2:31, 2:32, 3, whatever? I wasn't even thinking that. I was like, let's get to this start or this finish line. And that was the goal, to get there. And I'd slowed to about 3:40, in around 3:45 kilometer pace. And I just said to myself, right, 3:45 is the new 3:30. You have to do whatever you can to hold that and not let it get slower. And I didn't think in the lead up I would be okay with looking down at my watch and seeing 3:45, but like, I was, because I knew that's all I could manage. And like, I was able to manage, thank God. And I think I even picked it up for the last bit. But the last 5k felt like it was going on forever. But like, the atmosphere was incredible. Like, it was people everywhere. And like, it was just crowds upon crowds upon crowds. It was unbelievable atmosphere. Like, I've done like Dublin Marathon, I still think is probably the best atmosphere I've ran in, but that's because I suppose you know a lot of people, and a lot of people that you know can get to different areas. But like, I don't know, Rotterdam, absolutely incredible atmosphere. And then you turn a corner with 400 meters to go. It's a massive straight, and it's just thronged with people everywhere either side. And my friends happened to be at the point with 400 meters to go, and I was struggling, and I think that gave me a good lift as well. So I did look, and I was thinking, oh, you might be close to 2:30, and then you look again, and your finish line is a good bit in sight, and you're like, okay, let's make sure it's under 2:31. And I didn't think beforehand that at 2:30:46 I would be, ecstatic with. But like, I'm not saying I'm overly ecstatic with, but I'm very happy with it. I'm very content with it, because I know on the day that is the best run I could have got out of myself, and I know how hard I felt. And it's the hardest I've ever had to dig in and fight during a race. Um, But yeah, no, absolutely delighted, and had a great evening that evening. A lot of my friends over there, a few of the people I coach as well ran brilliantly, and it was just really good. Few days in Amsterdam afterwards, and bit of sightseeing and walking, which hasn't helped the legs, but I'll allow myself to recover over the next few days. Not going to do a massive amount of running probably for the next week or two. I probably won't run for the next couple of days, just because I think mentally I need that break, and physically I just don't feel like I'm able to at the moment. But yeah, overall brilliant experience. Build up was better than I expected. And yeah, just happy to get another marathon under the books. And yeah, suppose plan over the next while is to aim for some 5Ks, 10Ks, 10 miles, and then later in the summer, start getting ready for Dublin Marathon, and hopefully that's a really positive experience as well. But yeah, can't wait for that. So yeah, cheers for listening, guys, and cheers for watching.